Oh, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Except for maybe that, because that's the film thing.
Okay, yeah.
How's that?
Probably move this.
Yeah, it's gonna want this.
Alright. So I actually have a 10-minute performance. I'll try not to be boring. We'll see how it goes. It's a poetry interpretation, so I'm interpreting poems from multiple poets from the United States. So let's see how it goes. Okay. So he said to me, "What kind of Asian are you?" And I said back, "Well, that's a loaded question. What kind of Asian do you expect me to be? Because any way you slice that egg roll, I'm still pretty much whatever you want to see. I'm going to take every white man from his job and force him to construct light rail transit systems for 50 cents an hour. And when they're done, I'll make sure they're moved to a special little section of town that we'll call Whiteyville, where tourists can come to eat exotic hot dish. All the waiters will be forced to wear traditional Scandinavian garb. I'll have billboards all over town that say things like, food as dull as you can get without being white, and our happy hour is as cheap as a Wyzetta white girl. In the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee writes, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb inside of his skin and walk around in it." Through a reversal of roles, the following poems shed light onto perpetuation of seemingly innocuous stereotypes that Asian Americans are confronted with daily. In this program, we are challenged to step outside of ourselves and acknowledge the uncomfortable truth that is racism with the poems What Kind of Asian Are You? By Alex Dang and Reverse Racism by Bao Fi. A program, because change starts with empathy. I'm gonna run for office, promising equality for white men. Then, when I get elected, I'm going to vote against affirmative action for white men and neglect civil liberties for whites. Then I'll tell you, I don't love white people for the color of their skin. I'm colorblind. I played many of Far East stereotypes, awkward math genius, cold and calculated kung fu expert, assistant to Dr. Jones, you crazy. You want me to drive? How so? I can give you Tokyo Drift, Jeremy Lin, Mario Kart, Tiger Woods, and blinker left on for about half a mile. I'm going to teach nothing but Asian American history in every single classroom. And when little Morty Crackerman raises his hand and asks, teacher, why do we study any white people?" I will have him branded as a troublemaker and suspend him from school. Then I'll feel a little guilty about it and declare, National Whitey Appreciation Week. We'll study the contributions of Kip Winger and Harold Bloom while eating hamburgers and listening to Smash Mouth. We'll watch the Honky Town Crackers play against the Whiteyville Honkies, and in the bleachers we'll do the wave. And the white man can't dance. Dance. I am the foremost expert on all things Asian, the Meiji era and the Band of the Samurai. Done. Confucianism versus Taoism. I'll give it to you with no slants. What's the difference between Asian stereotype 1 and 2? Well, let me tell you anything you want to know about my culture. Let me tell you, in a Mulan-esque soliloquy of me staring in the mirror asking, who is that girl I see? Let me tell you about Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and how they're related by blood to me. Let me tell you about being so marginalized. It's to the point of, I really can't believe that's Asian. I'm going to build garbage dumps in white neighborhoods and make sure there's a lot of lead in their water supply. I'll tell my cops to shake down any white guy they see wandering around on the grounds of probable cause and suspicious behavior. Cops will arrest white men just for being white being outside. And then I'll deport them. Or maybe I'll beat them down in the street. I'll make sure my Asian friends in the news don't report on it, and if it goes to trial, I'll make sure the all-Asian jury and Asian judge pardon me. Let me tell you about derogatory terms and origins of words such as chink and gook. Let me tell you about the struggle of Asian parents not knowing the language, so we ate pet food because it was cheaper. Let me tell you about the job of interpreter. When you're still playing with Lego blocks, but your English is already that much better than your guardians when white men complain, I'll sigh deeply and say, hey, things are better for you now. You should have tried being around 20 years ago before me and some other good Asians marched with you white people for your rights. Don't blame me for racism. That stuff happened a long time ago, and anyways, I can't be racist. My girlfriend is white, and so are some of my best friends and servants. Let me tell you about honor and dignity. Let me tell you about a society that projects us as nothing but the secondary role and never the leading man. I'm going to start up a shoe company called Baofi. Swoosh, and force whites to work in the sweatshops. I will open branches of my fast food chains and hotels on European soil. I'll mine their lands for uranium and diamonds. I'll drill for their oil. I'll learn their languages and quaint customs. I'll spread my religion and set up a puppet government full of local, corrupt dictators. Then, I'll adopt a white child and say, I saved you. Your homeland was so backwards and poor, you would have been eating out of a garbage can in Europe if I didn't save you. Of course, this may lead to war. Just to be safe, I'm going to forcibly remove white American people from their homes because I feel they're a threat to national security. They can stay at their dog racing tracks until we are sure that they are good and loyal to this country. And while they're gone, I will take everything they ever owned. Let me tell you all the things you don't want to know. Like how chink comes from the clanking of metal to railroad as the slaves built train tracks for this country to be connected. Like the zipperhead down the street is called that because the wearer had split open when struck with assault weapons, or how jeeps ran over and left marks across corpses, and someone clever thought we were only good to unzip. Like how every time you lump an Asian person into one culture, it's systematically making us assimilate into an America we thought was better than our war-torn homes, and every time you confuse me with some other nationality that I might share similar features to, it's stripping away my individuality, and I still feel the shame of being Asian. When a white poet gets up to do a poem called Reverse Racism, I won't get mad. I won't even speak out because I have already brainwashed an entire nation of white people to defend us Asians more than they would defend themselves and each other. When these white people crumple into a ball, when they try to raise their voices to speak, and I still remember the broken words of my mother and father stage diving off my tongue when they go insane from it all. That's when I'll pat them on the back and say, that's just the way it is. Don't be a reverse racist. And I still feel the ash of the incense burn my hands when I prayed for my family, and I still remember thinking my skin was what I was worth. And I still feel the ironwork of my bones grow stronger with every train of thought that passes by, and I still feel pride and heritage, and I still feel Chinese and Vietnamese, and I still feel American. And I still